we start this presentation, first of all, give thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for always keep us health, blessing, and safety, so we can make this video well without obstacles. Then we offer our prayer and greeting to Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to his friend and family. We are here from Group 3, B2 class, non-regular 2018. We will present the result of the textbook that we have evaluated. The first material is introduction, will be explained by me. My name is NIRWANTI. My ID number 18220107. Harman 2007 states that textbooks are designed to be used after considering several aspects such as whether the language is appropriate, whether the topic or content is suitable for students, whether there are good right activities in this book, and whether ordering a package is logical. Here the method we use to book evaluation is ACTFL, American Council on Teaching Foreign Language. This guide is broken down into various levels of proficiency, beginner, intermediate, advanced, superior, and honorable. The appropriate textbook instrument is 5C, which involves the communication, cultures, connection, comparison, and community, and also 7 curriculum component that require language system, communication strategies, cultural knowledge, learning strategies, content from other field of study, critical thinking, solution, technology, and other features. This instrument will use because it was in accordance with Harvard 2007 mentioned that is language, content, activities. On one of the reasons for evaluating with ACTFL is because ICTs are needed here in language learning. This is very useful, especially for high school students. The book used is titled Bahasa Inggris from the Ministry of Education and Culture of Republic of Indonesia in 2017. This textbook was developed for high school grade 11 and published by Curriculum Center 8C, book Balitbang, Kemendikbud 2017. The cover image is like this. Those are the introduction of our evaluation report. Henceforth will continue by my friend. Thank you.
Introduce myself. My name is Marlinda Nurhayati. My ID number 1822042. Okay, in this video, I will explain the method used in evaluation, textbook evaluation of English class 11. Methodology. This textbook evaluation instrument is based on HTTPL American Country on the teaching of foreign language standard. Standard for learning foreign language by giving an opportunity to review every aspect of sending instruction. HTTPL is synonymous with innovation, quality, and reliability in meeting the needs of language educators and students. The evaluation carried out relates to aspects of the language used in teaching materials, and the display of teaching materials in textbook. One element to consider is the selection of textbook based on the standards. The evaluation of the textbook has been expanded to include 5 C elements and 7 curricular elements. The following are examples. The textbook evaluation instrument that use the principles and elements of organizing principles and curricular elements to assist in the selection process. This instrument will help in evaluating each chapter or teaching in this textbook. Each question in the section has been give a maximum point value that can be used to assist teaching material. I will explain the table of the result which contains 9 tables. I will explain the table. The rest will explain my friend. Table 3.1. Perception on the layout and physical display of this textbook has a paper thickness of 70 grams. Using the glue volume used to bind thick books can be over the coming years. The size of this textbook is length 25 and width 17 with weight of 480. Textbooks are interesting because it contains an interesting illustration. For students who ask its preparation of title and supposing in according with the present subscription or predetermined subscription. This unit is well organized and offers is because of the well-organized message so as to help students receive message and save students. Presenting a good search of materials and there are some pictures, diagrams, and tables. The settings are complete, systematically varied, and rich in immigration so have a powerful attraction as it will affect the student. Interest in this book. This textbook has a striking and interesting illustration. Good vocabulary with the development of communicative approach in language learning. The understanding contained in this book is preceded by the right communication so the textbook language corresponds to the student language. The sentences are effective, avoid some meaning, simple, valid, and interesting. The index contained in this book can facilitate students to find the topic they want to learn. The text of this book is equipped with the required audio-visual which helps students learn the first skill in an integrated way. Table 3.2. Perception on the content of the textbook. This textbook contains a list of content that corresponds to the content to be delivered its content according to students. Thus, the students are easy to be interested in the material. All the material in this book is related to the subject, so that student can understand the message delivered by expressing important things clearly, set the idea logically and eventually students will better easily understand the purpose of the material. The concept used in the textbook is clear that includes facts and concepts. This textbook contains content that will promote student autonomy, so students are more independent because in the textbook there are some examples give such questions. The textbook is easy to read and vary according to the program of suggests activities where expression skills are obtained in conditions that resemble real life. The topic is familiar and attractive to the daily life of the student. Fill in the material and attractive base textbook can make students camping and enjoy doing what is instructed in this book. Students of this book also act as an example. In the book, there are several dialogues and students are also told to refer to dialogue, so there is student involvement. Textbooks are set with flow and logic in accordance with learning plans. Textbooks are also set to suit student learning. In the book, there is a gender equality aspect that appears in the attitude and behavior of students who are given by students to understand each other and share each other. Positive perception will encourage students to honor the teacher so that students will be moved to follow the learning process. Thank you.
My name is YULI RAHMAWATI. My student number is 18220104. I will continue explain about result from table 3. Table 3 about perception on the objectives. In this textbook, learning material developed by the author pay attention to the learning topic contained in the curriculum. The purpose of developing learning material that is easily digested by students. The material contained in this book matches the learning curriculum and student needs. In this textbook, there are levels of material from easy to quite difficult for students. The material can be delivered according to time allocation if the material is not difficult enough to be understood by students. Table 4 about perception on the language type of the textbook. English teaching material with student daily life experience. The textbook do not include material. The book lacking emphasis on word. There are several examples of language used in the textbook. This textbook there is a new concept which is explained with the text. This textbook is suitable for the level of student. Table 5 about perception on the skills in the textbook. In the textbooks there are 4 basic skills, namely listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Every sentence that forms paragraph is still connected. Listening material in the textbook there are several pictures that can be seen directly by students so that it can help students understand the listening material. This textbook is easy to read and varies according to students' interests and needs. As a basic for a suggested activity program where expressive skills are acquired in conditions that resemble real life. In this textbook, there are questions that can practice the ability to understand that concept of applying advertising related to the material in this chapter because feedback is presented at the end of each chapter. Table 6 about perception on the activities and tasks in the textbook. In this textbook, there are several activities that students will do, one of them having a conversation. The material instruction in this textbook is enough. In this textbook, there are an instruction to explain how the exercise should be done. Can be seen from any chapter there is an explanation of the material before workmanship. In this textbook, there is interactive activity that requires students to use new vocabulary to communicate, as students require to fill the exercise by making conversation and other. In this textbook, facilitates students use of grammar rules by creating situations where these rules are needed, so they can apply their words to daily life. This textbook provides communicative exercise that allows students to carry out their communicative tasks in real-life situations. In this textbook, there is a balance between activities for language and activities for skills. In this textbook, there is a series of evaluation, quiz, or adequate testing suggestion. Table 7 about perception on the structure and vocabulary in these textbooks. In this textbook, grammar rules are used in accordance with the abilities of students as well the level of difficulty. In this textbook, new structures are integrated in various contexts and situations. In this textbook, each chapter, the material is presented with example and bright and easy explanation. In this textbook, the vocabulary load is appropriate for the level of student. This textbook contains sufficient written practice of grammatical concepts that lead to the use of communicative language. In this textbook, there is the development of appropriate vocabulary items. In this textbook, the new structure is repeated in the next lesson for reinforcement, such as with practice questions. The vocabulary used in this textbook is functional, thematic, authentic, and practical. In this textbook, there is sufficient oral practice of the concept of grammatical that lead to the use of communicative language can be seen in several chapters. There are examples of conversation that students must practice. The vocabulary in this textbook are presented in various ways, one of which is by reading. Table 8 about perception on the culture values in the textbook. The content in this textbook is in accordance with current student knowledge and culture. The cultural teaching in this textbook motivates learners to explore their own culture, such as some stories about Indonesian figures. The content in this textbook also functions as a window to learn about the culture of the target language. Table 9 about perception on the teacher needs. The use of material in this textbook is easily managed by the teacher, so it is quite easy for the teacher to provide material to students. But the teacher must use the right method to make it easier to teach. This textbook can be used by different students according to their needs. This textbook helps teachers understand the purpose of textbook and help achieve learning goals. In this textbook, most of the material used is only visual. In this textbook, there are many additional exercises to strengthen student creativity and skills. In this textbook, the teacher is given a technique or activate to background knowledge of student before reading the text, so the teacher is able to know the level of student ability. This textbook provides teacher with alternative and authentic assessment technique that make it easier for teacher to assess.
My name is DEWI APRIANI. My ID number is 18220143. Here I will explain analysis and discussion. Analysis. In the chapter 2, opinions and thoughts on page 18 is considered important because students can learn oral and written transactional interaction that include giving and asking for information related to opinions and thoughts in the context of their ask. In the chapter 3, part time on page 32 is considered important because students can learn to compile text in the form of formal invitation with due regards to the structure of the text correctly and context. In the chapter 5, letter writing on page 61 is considered important because students can learn the informal use of English and the instruction and the structure of the letter. In chapter 7, meaning, thoughts, music, on page 86, is considered important because it can develop affective and psychomotor. Discussion. In the chapter 2, opinion and thoughts on page 18 is considered important because students can learn oral and written transactional interaction that involve giving and asking for information related to opinions and thoughts. In the context of their ask, it is the accordance with the theory namely Harmer mentioned that is language, context, and activity, then this evaluation will be in accordance with which will help students to develop effective and psychomotor. In chapter 3, part 3 on page 62 is considered important because students can learn to compile text in the form of formal invitation with due regards to the structure of the text correctly and in context. This is accordance with theory Harmer, namely Harmer states that textbooks are decided to be used after considering several aspects such as whether the language is appropriate, whether the topics or content is suitable for students, whether there are good right activities in this book, and whether ordering a package is logical. In chapter 5, letter writing on page 61 are considered important because students can learn the formal use of English and the structure of a letter based on the result of the analysis of this book in accordance with theory Harmer states that coursebooks are decided to be used after considering several aspects such as whether the language is appropriate, whether the topics or context is suitable for students, whether there are good right activities in this book, and whether ordering a page is logical. In chapter 7, meaning tones music on page 86 is considered important because it can develop affective and psychomotor. The result of the analysis of the textbook are in accordance with the theory Anderson's typical thinking about the cognitive realm, typical connecting with the psychomotor realm, and typical feeling related to the affective realm. Okay, that is all from our group. Sorry if there are still any mistake in the pronunciation and the material. Thanks for my group. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.